Hello everybody and welcome to Victoria 2, the Supernations mod. I am actually going to be doing a video today about how to basically mod in a formable country tag. I'm in the position where I am creating the whole United States of America campaign, and it's at the point where the North American Union will be a formable tag. And so, of course, there's some parts like Denmark over here, but I'm going to mod that in a little bit later. For those of you who are familiar with the mod. But at this point, you can see that we do have the United States of America, pretty much all of continental North America is completely controlled by the United States all the way down over to Colombia, then all of Central America as well as also completely or occupied or taken by the US of A. I'm going to save this super quick so we can keep referencing it. But basically, we're going to be jumping back and forth between modding the game. Okay, so we have a ton of events here. This one I think is, I'd already put in there. Let's see, because I think we'll look at this super quick. Yeah, that works. Okay, anyways. Jumping into the mod itself. So we'll have a few different things we need to pay attention to. First, got to make sure you have the actual Formable Nation tag. And for that, I'm going to have to actually exit out of the game. So I'm going to quit right now, minimize all of this stuff. And you're going to see right here is this Victoria 2 Nation Establisher. And if you were to go on line, for example, to the Victoria 2 modding wiki, you'll find there's several different tools. I believe, or maybe it's not in here. Probably could have had that all installed, but basically Victoria 2 Nation Creator tool. And it should be this right here. And so, post link to the tool. So give me 1 sec as I try to find this tool. All right, and here we are. So on the Paradox Plaza wiki page, or the forum, you'll be able to find this post. I'm going to link into the description down below. But basically this man, WK3, ended up making this creator for Victoria 2 for Nations. And all you have to do is go down here, download it, and that's literally it. So in order to use, you just have to go ahead and click the folder it was downloaded in and activate the .exe application from the folder itself. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And you can go here, you can see this entire little nation establisher. Of course, you could do it manually, which is also fine, but this makes it a little bit more streamlined and easier. I do enjoy doing it this way. So for example, just kind of put different things. You put like GHH, I don't know what tag that would be. For our purposes, we're doing the NAU, but I've already done the NAU. And you just kind of go down here, pick the Academia, Traditional Academy. A lot of this stuff isn't going to matter because what you're making is a formable nation. But if you're making a custom nation that you want at the start of the game, this will also have a lot more little tools you can use for that, such as the technology and units. Otherwise, you can just ignore those two trees. What you're really caring about is these right here. So North American, that's just the adjective you're going to use for the nation. And then you have the default name, which is going to be North American Union, democracy, HM, government. So that's all the different name tags you want for different nations. So for example, you put North American People's Union if it was a communist nation, stuff like that. So a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter in the first place though. But if you were to go, well, first it will go to your folder, which I believe I have in my documents. Let's see, right there. So Supernation mod files, I just put it all in here, but you see all these little tags. So basically whenever you create a nation that happens, I could jump into Parthia, for example, for my Roman Empire campaign. You'll have the commons folder. You just kind of drag and place these folders into File Explorer. You'll have to find your Wiki 2 folder. So in this case, I already have my mod selected. And you just kind of cross-reference each of these. I'm going to cancel that out. And this does not matter. And where is it? Right here. Oh no, it canceled out. Okay, back to the... There we go. I want to go back down to Supernation mod files. I was on PTH. So common, for example, you have countries, Parthia. You just kind of correlate there. So Parthia can go dragged right into here. What you'll need to do that this little generator or nation establisher application does not do is you'll want to go to the countries.txt and also go ahead and create an actual tag for it. So for example, I have my own Supernations mod list for all countries. It's sort of a directory to reference the nations in the game. And you just have to put the tag and equals countries, whatever the countries file in here is named. Otherwise, you go back in here, cancel out of that. Go back here. GFX is going to be your flags. And so it's going to be blank, so you have to make your own flag. It's going to be a 93 by 64, I believe, file. And it's going to be, oh, that's 100, that's wrong. Don't pay attention to that. It's a 93 by 64 and it's a .tga file. And you'll want to make the flags for it, otherwise it will bug out. Otherwise, you'll have the history files, and the units actually doesn't matter if you're making a formable nation. That's just the OOB, and so that'll basically spawn which armies will be at that province at the beginning of the game. Otherwise, you'll basically just want this file. You can delete the OOB and just have all these different little cultures wherever you put in there. And a lot of this, the technology stuff, you can just delete. That doesn't really matter at all. Otherwise, that's pretty much it besides the localization. And the localization is just stuff that you'll want to drag over into the actual folder itself. That just kind of gives names for the different parties, as well as the formable or the name of the country, depending on what government you have, as well as the adjective. That all goes there, and I'll just kind of cross-reference that. So like localization goes to localization. You just do that. Easy peasy. And so that's all you do. Anyways, I already did all that. So the NAU is already in the game from earlier. So if I were to go down to my Supernations mod entries, just down over here, you'll see that the NAU is right here, North American Union. And I could show you that super quick. If I were to go down here to North American Union, you'll see it right here. And so, of course, you have the color of the country, the graphical culture. So this is the United States unit models are being used. You could change to whatever unit models you want. Of course, you have also other colors you can use if it were a different government type. So if you're a proletarian dictatorship, you'll turn, I think that's red. If you're a bourgeois dictatorship, I think that's yellow, I think. And then you have these political party references. Of course, it's USA Liberal. That just means it's going to reference whatever localization file is for that specific party. And those are all the potential parties for them. Then you have the unit names. You can always add more unit names if you'd like. Easy enough. And that's it for the countries. You'll also want to go down, well, GFX, you'll kind of see the flags are also already in here. So I've already go to NAU. You'll see these are the 5 flags I chose for the North American Union. The communist flag, the fascist flag, the monarchy flag, and of course you have the NAU Republic flag. And that's about it for that section. And then the history file, countries, go ahead and search that NAU, makes it a little bit easier. And of course you have the capital. A lot of this doesn't really matter because it's not going to do much as far as the beginning of the game. I actually just copy and pasted the USA's file into the NAU to make it a little bit easier. And lastly, you have the localization files. And over there, I already have that pulled up inside my modding sort of program I use. And you have the Supernation countries, and of course you have NAU, which is actually not in here. Where did I put it? Obviously not there. So it's in a different section apparently, but regardless, that's where all the stuff ends up going. And so that's all of that. So actually getting into the decision itself, we're going to be doing. So Supernations USA. And so what I want to do is have it so the forming the NAU is referencing a previous event. And so there was an event that we had fire. earlier on, and that was going to be, it should have been the more perfect union. You got the Civil War events, and right after that, yeah, preparations for a more perfect union. So this tag is basically going to be what we're going to use. It has country flag, preparations for the more perfect union. So what we want is this. So let's copy that. And we're going to go down into Supernations USA. I'm actually going to post that right there so we can cross-reference that a little bit later. And what I want is actually, this is form the NAU. And so I already have the event all written out, so you guys don't have to watch me type the entire thing. But basically what we're going to do is picture Italy. That's not the picture we want. Well, let's look for a picture. Usually I just kind of search a random on the internet because I am not good at actually making my own pictures, and that would take forever. And so, all right, here we go. Oh, ignore that. Anyways, we're going to use this image. Looks good enough for me. Probably should have tried something like that a little bit sooner. Okay, so let's do .png, save that extension, jump right back into this, and find our image, which is right here. We're going to have to crop it a little bit, but it should work a lot better than our previous one. So, don't need a lot of this extra weight. So if we were to do this, that should make it a lot more even to the point where sizing it would probably not do much of an issue. So anyways, what I do for Victoria 2 stuff, I automatically go to adjustments and click sepia. It just gives that sort of kind of Victorian era vibe to it. So I'm going to resize that to 95 by 95. It's going to be a little bit blurry-ish, but it should work. I think it works pretty well. So save as nau.dds is going to be the end tag for that. This is the DDS file. And so you're going to want to take this new image that you just made, so nau.dds, copy that. You're going to want to jump right back into the Supernations mod. And so you're going to want to go to the GFX, pictures, decisions, and just paste that right in there. And that should be the only NAU file, so we are good. So all we have to go ahead and do is go back to our mod and type in the picture category, NAU. And that works for us. Potential. This is what's going to sort of determine how or what how a country or which country has a decision shown to them. So of course they have to be USA. Then they'll have to own all of this land before the decision will even pop up. And basically all this territory is going to be, I think, surprisingly enough, it's not listing. Oh, it does list down here. So, okay, that's actually fine. That's only the potential, so that's how it shows. Actually being able to do the decision, you'll have to own parts of Canada. It looks like I got a little bit lazy and did not put in all of it. So we can actually go ahead and do that here. I'll show you. So you go to region.txt. It's a file in the maps corner of usually the game or the files. And so let me go to minimize that, get rid of all those pictures. In the maps portion, so Supernations map, you'll see the region. And that's going to show this file, which will show all of the provinces tied with a specific region. It just makes it a whole lot easier to go ahead and actually just put all that down there. So in our case, we are going to copy. And how many are there? Let's see. I am just not doing this correctly. Anyways, 1, 2, we're going to skip that one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And so maybe the easiest way is actually to minimize that, get this region file opened, put that over here in the corner, and let's go ahead and type away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think there's 2 more than that, but still it works for us. So 13. So now we want ing 6. Then we'll want ing 9. And then we'll want can 13. And it's already there, isn't it? So can 19. I'm actually going to fast forward through this so you guys don't have to watch me do it, though. All right, and there we go. And I did just notice one thing that may end up posing an issue. Even though we do have all the region tags there, we have to keep in mind that the fact that there are some provinces that may be part of those regions that I am requiring right now that might not actually be feasibly grabbed by the player at the point that I want them to form the union. Because after they do form the union, I'm going to go ahead and make an event where they will have the Roosevelt Corollary, where basically they're telling the Europeans either give your American land territory to us or we'll go to war. So kicking all the Europeans out of Europe, for example. So we have this. And the thing I am thinking of is the fact that France owns this little territory right here, which is French Newfoundland. And so because of that, it may be easier to go ahead and just write out the province IDs for that territory, because everything else is actually totally fine. There shouldn't be any issues. All of these are different little territories. The only thing would be this area over here. So what I'm going to do is go prov ID. We do want to make sure that Newfoundland, which is Ang74, we're going to go ahead and switch that. So let's go ahead and delete, well, not delete it. We'll just have to change it. If I can drag this, I can't drag this. Okay, anyways. 762625. I'm not that great with memorization, but there we go. So we got 76. Then we got 2625. Just double check that. Yeah, 2625. Then we have 75 and 74. That should solve that potential issue. Let's just change that to 75 and change that to 74. And that should be good. So all of those need to be owned by the United States before they can actually do it. And otherwise, we do have that they have to have the American Civil War has happened for the global flag. So obviously, they have to be or have they can't form until after the Civil War, and they also have to have the global flag, or they can't have the global flag formed the NAU. The reason we have that is because to keep them from firing it twice, basically. Allow revolutionary counter-revolution. They have to have research. This tech has to be after the year 1880. That's pretty much the only thing. The effect is basically that it will fire the country event 200124. So that's pretty much all good and dandy there. There is this that I'd want to go ahead and transplant over to the top. So allow. Let's put that right here. So has country flag. Oops, preparations for the more perfect union. So that event is going to be crucial for them to be able to do that. Same with, that's allow. Okay, cool. Actually, let's go ahead and transplant that to potential instead. That's better. So with that done, I'm going to save this portion, jump back into the Supernation events, and this references this event. So when you fire that decision, basically this event will then fire in churn. It does not have a flag or a picture either. So what do? Find a picture online. None of those will work too well, but this one that we had earlier may actually be perfect if it's the right size. So I go back over here, it's 428 by 259. If I remember correctly, I think it's like 512 for an image. Well, it's easy enough to find out. Just go back into the Supernations mod, GFX, pictures, events, and let's open one of these. 521 by 203. So it may not, well, we'll try. We can try making it work. First, I'm going to go ahead and open up this right here. This is the little edge that we can use to go over any of these. So this is 428 by 259. So image we want that to be 521 by 203. So resize 521. It's be much too tall in that case. Can we find another picture? Okay guys, so this is what I ended up doing is I made a little custom, I don't know if it looks cheesy at all, but basically I got a little background of a map, put this picture overlaid on, and then overlaid this on top of that. And so one of the things I usually do with these maps is I will, let's just subtract right there, go ahead and blur out the edges slightly to help with the little like hard lines here. So blurs, fragmentation may work pretty well. Maybe. Right, like that should be fine. So we do that. Map is totally good at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that as formnau.tga because it's gonna be a TGA file. And so we're gonna have to go take that file and plop it right down into the events folder. And so if I go back into the USA, I should be able to find it right here. So go ahead and copy that and paste that right in here. So paste. So now we have formnau.tga is right in there. So formnau, that is going to be our picture. So jumping right back into here, all we need to do is go ahead and put formnau. Of course, we already have the title. We already have the description. I think United North America is right there. Prestige 100, change tag NAU for all of the USA's cores, add core. For all of Mexican cores, add core. I should probably see what other cores are there potentially going to be over here. Of course, small separatist movements are feasible. Let's see. Thinking of getting rid of the UK's cores. That makes sense. Let's do this. Let's see. No, actually, right over here. Right over here. USA, all core. Remove core. England. That works. I know that they'll still probably have some uncored regions over here. I'm debating whether or not it would be a good idea to go ahead and add those as cores as well. I'll probably hold off on that for now. Probably have that happen later on in the campaign. But otherwise, that's basically the formation here. And so I'm going to go ahead and save that as well. And so you can tell if I were to go back into the Supernations mod itself, in order to go ahead and form it, it has to be 1880. And of course, it's 1871. So I think we already have that saved. Yep. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to skip ahead right now to 1880 in the game. And we'll see if the event works. So anyways, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so I've decided to do something super quick. I realized that maybe having it so that 1880 might not be the best idea for the mod itself. And so what I'm going to do is actually take that out there and just keep it for making sure they have to own Revolution and Counter Revolution. Otherwise, everything else on this list they already own. And so it works out for allowing them to do the event, except the 1880 aspect. Of course, we didn't do the localization for the mods. We're going to go ahead and actually jump into that right now as we go ahead and take out this whole 1880 requirement. So we're going to go ahead and take that out. Or maybe 1870, but you can't even research Revolution, Counter Revolution until after 1870. So removing that should be fine. Save that. And we're going to go ahead and actually make the decision, localization for it. And so what I usually do with this is that I will take one of my previous ones, just because all these little numbers, I have no idea what they do, but I don't really want to mess with it. I'd rather do that. So right here, just change that, form the NAU, so whatever country you are forming. Same thing here with the description, form the NAU description. And let's do this. Oops. Form the North American Union. You can see why I have typos. I type too fast apparently, and I end up missing stuff. Something like that should work out for me, so I'm gonna save that. So just go ahead and double check. So form the NAU. Up here it is form the NAU, so there we go. For the events, of course, 200124. Event description is, of course, completely the wrong one. So I imagine that actually was not done either. Okay, so what we're going to end up doing is I imagine that the event is not in the game either. So we're going to go ahead and make it. Let's go back into the modding. Go back to Supernation events. And let's change this to 20124. And make it ourselves. So jumping into events. Oh, there's the event title, isn't there? No, we already have that. And I jumped into the wrong one. So all we have to do is write the description for it. So now jumping right back into the events, of course. Let's go ahead and take, copy and paste this event. And paste that. Delete this description. And take it as our own. So 24. And there we go. So save that, and that should all be completely done now. I'm going to save this again, and we'll jump right back into it. You guys should be able to see the changes, well, pretty much right away. So let's go and load that up. It shouldn't take very long at all. But regardless, that was probably, I hope that actually showed a little bit of how to form your own country for those who are curious about how to go about doing that. Of course, go ahead and comment if there's any specific tutorials you would like to see. I like to think I know most about modding, at least basic stuff. Of course, going into and actually changing and overhauling aspects of the game, it's not exactly my forte, but I can definitely expand on the detail of the game itself. And so, of course, here we have it. So, form the North American Union. Of course, localization has worked with all the continental North America united under the glorious United States of America. We are now in a position to reform our government to better us about our much grander destiny. And so, of course, you have all of the prereqs, revolution, counter-revolution, technology being one of them, and we get the formation of the North American Union event. So click it. It didn't work. Okay, so event description 20124. Let me go ahead and make sure that that was right. It was not. 20124. And the map, of course, or the picture didn't work either. So let's go ahead and sort of try to bug test that. What happened? Form NAU, is that the correct picture? Is my question. Open a new window. GFX, pictures, events, search NAU. Form NAU is right there. let me change the name then. It's possible it might be having issues referencing the DDS file we use for the decisions. But otherwise it should work. Form the NAU. Now it's on there. Event description should be correct now. That makes sense. It's actually not the event. The event ID is completely fine. It's the localization that was bad. It needs to be this. Alright, so save that, and hope it works this time. If you want to see what happens, there we go. With all the continental North America, unite under the glorious United States of America, we are now in a position to reform our government's better glory and destiny. Of course, we already read that. So North American Union, it's a thing now. And there's the country. Of course, you have Liberia down here. That's going to have some changes done. But you can see our little units. You have the little flag flying above it. So everything has worked completely fine. Of course, there might be some bug testing, such as this. That actually did work. Form the US of A. So, of course, we're going to have to go ahead and go into the different files themselves and sort of fix this from appearing. Integrate North American population title. That's under allow when it should be under potential. Otherwise, this is going to keep appearing. Otherwise, all this stuff should already appear regardless. In which all those pops are accepted cultures as of now. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap that up here. Actually, no, let's go ahead and make sure what I did just worked. So, quit. We're going to look at that again. Because for all intents and purposes, that should have worked. Sometimes that's what happens with modding, is just that you have a bug that ends up cropping up. And sometimes you don't know what to do. Like, I have tons of decisions and events that I put into the game, but just don't pop up. And the events and decisions themselves are completely programmed in just fine. But for some reason, because the order is off or something like that, so I had to reorder the events, and then they would work, interestingly enough. But yeah, anyways, formed the North American Union. Let's see if this worked. The event description worked, but the flag or the file did not. I have to look into that. But regardless, just follow what I did and it should be completely fine. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. As always, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing if you would like to see more content just like this, more frequent uploads. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.